Hello, T. Hear us? Can you hear me?
Hi, Sus. Sorry.
Hello. You're looking brilliant there. Oh, wow. It's that
Hi,
backdrop. Is
Susan.
so
Yes, we can hear you.
awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.
So welcome to those who are already on the call, and thank you so much for joining. It's so good to see people who are so prompt. That's amazing. So welcome. You bear with us for a few minutes just while we make sure that the technology is all working on this side and double check it. But we will kick off at 3 o'clock. And there's also plenty more to join, so that's great.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Laura, can you hear?
Hi everyone, welcome to those who are online. Good to see you all. Thanks so much for joining. Yeah, we're going to wait another 3 minutes for more people to join. But yeah, just hang out for a little while until we get going. Hi everyone, welcome to those who have joined us so far. We're watching the numbers tick up as people join. So we just want to make sure that, yeah, we've got as many people as have registered online. So I think we're going to give people another 2 minutes or so just to join. Awesome. So we've seen the numbers ticking up. So that's really cool. We're so excited to have so many people join us today. Welcome everyone to the first BSG Flex of its kind. I will explain a little bit about what we're talking about when we keep talking about Flex. But I'm gonna just start by welcoming everyone. I know there's still some people joining, but I do want to make sure that we have time to engage properly with all of you and give everyone a chance to share what they've prepared today, or what we've prepared at least for you today. So I am going to get started. It is 3 minutes past 3. So yeah, like I said, thank you so much for joining. We have a internal set of or series of sessions called Flex that happen at BSG, and these are an opportunity for people to share knowledge about projects that they've been on recently, or perhaps there's a particular hot topic at the moment that we really want all of our people to get exposed to, and then we may run a series kind of very close together. So last year, for example, we had a Flex series around data visualization, which was amazing and driven out of our data and analytics capability. And these are sessions that all BSGers really look forward to. They're an opportunity for all of us to connect as an organization, and they're also an opportunity to learn from our peers, get a little bit of insight into what is happening on different projects, and just learn a bit about what our peers know as well. And so this year we are so excited to have opened this up, and now we are offering Flex outside of BSG, and we're super excited that we've opened it up to university and more specifically honors students, so you guys who have joined. And so yeah, I just think this is the first of this series of sessions. There will be more. We really want to hear from you guys about what it is you'd love for us to include as topics in the series. But I think kicking it off with this one, which is probably so relevant to all of you right now. You are sort of in the beginnings. I mean, you've been going now for a couple of months, but you're in the beginnings of your honors years, and probably quite a lot of questions going through your head. So what an awesome opportunity to tap into a bunch of people who were sitting in your seats this time last year and have walked the journey that you're about to walk, and have got some awesome insight from that honors year that they have just completed. So when I said to the team, guys, we really want to start offering Flex outside of BSG, and they said, oh, I wish someone had said to me last year that I should do this or do that. And there were so many comments like that. I was like, well, let's do it. Let's be those people and tell the people who are in that space right now all the things you wish you'd known last year. So welcome. We really look forward to the session. Please engage with us through the chat, etc. We've got people, we've logged on different machines so we can keep track of comments on the chat. Or if you want to put your hand up during the session, ask. Yeah, we'd love to hear from you. We really would like to engage with you and have this be more, more two-way than one way. So I'm going to stop talking now, because it's not me that you really want to hear from. I was at university 20 years ago and things have changed. So let's hear from those who were there recently. So yeah, do you want to kick us off?
Great, thanks, Laura. So just to quickly go over what the session will cover, we are really excited to be here. So first we'll all introduce ourselves, because you're probably wondering who these people are. And then getting right into it, we're going to reflect on, as Laura said, what we wish we knew this time last year when we were in your shoes. And then we're going to kick off talking about BSG, just a little bit about us, what we do, and hopefully give you more insight into just who we are. Next, we'll talk about our graduate development program, how to apply, how you can join us, which is really exciting. And then on the agenda after that, we'll be introducing MSD Flex. I know Laura has already touched on it, but we're going to just go into a bit more depth about what it really is. And then just to round up the session, we're going to have a really fun trivia where we're going to test all your knowledge. So be sure to pay attention because there are very generous prizes at the end of this for the most interactive students and the winners of the winner of the trivia at the end. And then, yeah, just to close up the session, we'll have a Q&A to cover any questions or concerns you might have after this presentation. So yeah, really, I'm really excited. I hope you guys are too. And yeah, let's meet this BSG team. So yeah, Laura, would you like to start us all?
Thanks so much. So my name is Laura Dunstan-Smith. I am the capability lead for what we call MSD or multi-skilled delivery here at BSG. And essentially that is the capability that we bring people into in our graduate development program. And then it's the capability that nurtures our consultants through the first sort of 5 or 6 years of their careers as consultants. So whether that's new grads that join us fresh out of university or experienced hires that come to us from somewhere else, if they're in that space, that sort of first 5 or 6 years of their consulting career, then they come into our multi-skilled delivery capability. And that just allows everyone a space to explore, try different things, be on different projects, and be really informed in making the decision of what's their next step then, which of our capabilities do they want to grow to.
Okay, great. So hi everyone again. I am Anesu. I graduated from UCT and I completed my honors in information systems. I am currently a business consultant at BSG under the multi-skill delivery capability. And a really short fun fact about myself is that when I was in high school, early high school, I used to compete provincially for swimming and athletics. But as time went on and I kind of grew up, I can't even get up a flight of stairs without huffing and puffing. So aging, right? Yeah, Kara.
Hi everyone, my name is Makera. I'm a UKZN graduate. I did my undergraduate in information systems and management at UKZN and went on to do my honors in information systems also at UKZN. I see all the love from UKZN in the chat, so I'm just really happy about that. Another fun fact about me, I am a huge cat lover. So I have 2 cats, Sherlock and Watson, and I also love to read. So you can imagine where I got those names from.
Hi everyone, my name is Ndabenhle Davana. I'm also from UKZN. I did my undergrad in computer science and later on did my honors also in computer science. Maybe one fun fact about me is there is a thing that there are things that we can't unlearn in life, like riding a bicycle or swimming. And as I was growing up, I was a very good swimmer. I had like an aspiring career in swimming. And I stayed for like 12 years without swimming, and now I can't even swim to save my life.
I feel like you should probably start a BSG swimming team.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thanks so much, guys, for introducing yourself. Anesia, you're going to take us from here.
Will do. I'm actually going to hand over to Makera to walk us through our very first Menti meter.
Awesome, thank you so much, Inesu. So everybody grab your phones or open up the browser and go into menti.com or scan the QR code to jump onto a Menti. And we want to know, as honor students, what are you guys most concerned about? And hopefully we will address that today. So log into Menti and we will just switch over to there.
So you can still see the code in the top if you, feel like we took it away from you. So www.menti.com, and then you can see the code there, 61248184 at the top.
Ooh. So we already have some concerns coming in. Systems development project at UCT. I could definitely relate to that. Workload, adulting, job opportunities, that looks like a common one. This is great engagement, guys. Thank you.
Yeah. Awesome, really loving what's coming through.
Balance, we definitely talk about that at some point today. So that's a bit amazing.
Time management, yeah.
lots about job hunting, and we're definitely going to give you some tips and tricks. And Anesu is gonna, well, and Michaela actually are gonna, yeah, all three are gonna take you through kind of some of the things they did around looking for jobs and preparing for interviews and those sort of things. So, and we also are in fact planning a session later on in this series around, you know, writing a CV and preparing for interviews. Yeah. Okay.
That's great.
Amazing. Such
Yeah.
cool engagement. Awesome.
Great, guys. This was great because I see a lot of the tips or the concerns that everyone is raising is actually stuff that we will be covering in this presentation. So this is great. Thank you for the engagement. I think we're now going to just switch over just to get started with the pack. Okay. Cool. All right, so before we get into the heart of why everyone is really here, I want everyone to just picture this, right? An arena. Old limestone pillars, stone-washed walls, and sandy terrain. One person standing firmly in the center, clad in gladiator armor. That person is surrounded by rusty gates and unbeknownst to what lies ahead of them. Welcome to your arena. Exactly, it's your arena. You are that person standing in the center, bravely anticipating your very own giant coming right at you. So this arena is a representation of your honors year. And just as no two arenas are the same, no two people's journeys will be the same either. The challenges you'll face range from your research project, your systems development project, IT practicals, job applications, and not forgetting the committees, sports, and society activities that you'll take part in. But the question is, how do you, as the person in the middle of the arena, conquer the challenges that are rushing through the gates at you? And in the word of Howard Hawks, fortune favors the prepared. Regardless of what aspect of your life that you want to excel at, nothing will come easy to you unless you prepare. And that is the key to emerging victorious through this honors year, which is why being here is so special to all of us here, because we get the opportunity to share with you what we wish we knew that probably would have helped us in our very own arenas. So the first reflection that I have is establish a routine, because it's so important to know that big things are usually the fruit of the seed that you plant on a daily basis and in the daily routine of your work. So the first tip I wish I knew was tasks you need to complete, know which tasks you need to complete every single day. So if you haven't figured out by now, there are a lot of moving parts and honors, and being able to manage your time is very important. So the mistake I made was trying to tackle all of my coursework and all the different courses in one day, every single day, instead of focusing on what was required of me that day, or maybe even the day after. I ended up spending all day on my research proposal, and I actually completely forgot about the group assignment that we had, and my team member had to step in and help me. So from that, I learned that you need to be able to separate your day and tackle the tasks in that way. So what I did is, this ties into the next tip, by the way, understanding your work ethic. So I separated my day into morning, afternoon, and evening. So I'm a morning person, which ties into my work ethic. And I knew that I'm the most sharp in the morning. So what I would do is tackle tasks that require the most of my focus and energy then, and then attend my classes, attend any meetings in the afternoon, and in the evening, work on my research paper by, reading through other people's papers or just gathering material for my own paper. So again, being able to separate the tasks that you need to tick off in that specific day. The final tip that I have about establishing a routine relates to dedicating time to activities that you genuinely enjoy, because it's so easy to get swept up in the busyness of honors that you actually forget to enjoy yourself. So what I used to do is binge Netflix series or go for ice cream dates with my friends. Or if you're someone who's more active and enjoy the outdoor activities, you could perhaps try playing a sport. And the second major tip that I have is creating a plan. A lot of what honors requires you to do will require a lot of planning. Otherwise, you're not going to be able to tackle all the tasks that you need to tackle. So the first major tip to creating a plan is managing your research project. So I know a lot of you are probably being faced with a research paper that you have to write by the end of the year. And I have quite a few tips that I wish someone had told me that probably would have made my journey much easier. So the first thing is, don't fall into the trap of picking the hardest research topic out there. Rather pick a topic that interests you and one that you'll actually be able to collect data samples from. And on top of that, start data collection early. A lot of my peers left that part of the research process a little too late, and the ethics approval process ended up being delayed, which meant that they couldn't collect enough data samples. So I really strongly encourage you to start as early as you can. And, you know, although choosing a topic, it would be great to choose a topic that really would speak to where you want to go in your career and what you want to do next year. Just know that it is not a train smash if you can't, you know, work on a topic that aligns to your career interests or aligns to your passion. It really would affect, you know, the industry that you go into or the work that you're going to do. My next sub tip under this is know that when you put together your research paper, because for many of you, it'll be your very first time doing so, be patient with yourself, be patient with the learning journey. You know, a lot of you might be used to writing essays, which is different to academic writing. And the best way to, you know, kind of go about this is work closely with your supervisor and send them drafts of your work before the main deliverable. So you don't have to wait until the due date to hand in your work. You can work together with your supervisor, as I did. So what I would do is, if I had, let's just say the research proposal due on Friday, I would submit a draft of my paper either the Monday or the Friday before to give them time to really go through it and give me feedback that I would be able to implement before the deliverable was due. And to tackle the different deliverables of the research paper, you need to create to-do lists, right? These are so important. I feel like people really underestimate how important they are. And there are so many tools that you can use to do this. You can use Microsoft's to-do list, an online tool. You could also use an app called Todoist, or you can do what I did and just go really traditional and just use pen and paper. There's just something so satisfying about crossing off, you know, that one task you completed at the end of the day. Yeah, and the final tip I have regarding creating a plan is regarding managing job applications. So a lot of you will probably be looking into transitioning into the working world next year. And it is a really big common misconception that you think you've got time to apply for a job when really you don't. And I have friends that have this mindset going into honors and are now struggling to find opportunity, you know, and this isn't to discourage you or, you know, to make you feel scared, but to really encourage you to think ahead about what your future will look like in the next few months. So in light of that, be careful not to apply to the companies too late. And what I did to manage this is I created a spreadsheet, you know, part of creating my plan. And I had a list of companies that I wanted to work at, a list of positions I wanted to occupy, and the application opening dates and application closing dates. And finally, a status of my application, the applications that I sent out. So every week, again, part of my plan, I would update this spreadsheet based on the emails I get, whether they were rejection emails or acceptance emails, and really focus on what exactly, what opportunity I should focus more on and put in more of my energy to prepare for, and what opportunity I can just let go of. And if a reservation that you or a friend have is that, you know, if you are doing a BS, if you're not doing a BSc or you're not doing a BCom, that you can't get a job, I really want to emphasize that this is not true at all. We actually have a graduate in our group who's also my friend who did her undergrad in humanities, and look where she is now, right? So it's not about what degree you did or, you know, the field that you went into. It's more about what skills you can offer to the organization, which is what you should put out there to the different companies that you apply to. And finally, I just want to encourage all of you to be brave really put yourself out there. My Excel spreadsheet had like 37 applications before I found my fit. So just know that you miss 99.9% of the shots that you don't take. Yeah, over to you, Michaela.
Thank you so much, Jinesu. So I know that we're all studying online and COVID was just a very tough time and we're still continuing with studying online. And some of us might feel we might feel very disconnected and quite lost. So the biggest tip that I can give y'all is to stay connected. One of the things that I did last year was I found a really good group of friends during honors, and we just sat together on Teams all the time. So my suggestion is find a friend or two to have study sessions on Teams with. This is honestly so beneficial because not only can you guys bounce ideas off each other about your research and about assignments, but you can also just relax. My friends and I last year, we spent a lot of time on Microsoft Teams, and in the evenings, we'd even wind down and play games and alternate between Microsoft Teams and Discord. And sometimes we wouldn't even do anything but chat to each other and vent about how difficult research is, or how we're just not progressing well, but we actually did progress well together. So even if you have one or two friends, get together and do study sessions on Teams. And if you don't know anyone, that's okay. Reach out to your classmates. One of my friends, I actually only met her last year. What happened was during one of the elections, we had a group project to do, and she didn't have anybody in her group. So she just pinged me on Teams, sent me a quick message, said, hey, can I join your group? And we ended up doing most of our honors work together in the year. And to this day, she's one of my closest friends. The friends that you make in honors are the friends that you're going to keep for a very long time because honors is difficult, especially during online learning. So you're not going to struggle together for nothing. So definitely try to stay connected. The next tip I can give is to set expectations with your supervisor. This means reaching out and discussing what exactly is expected of research. As Inessa mentioned, research is very tough. You have to do a lot of things early, and the scope changes all the time. So really, reach out to your supervisor, establish a solid stream of connection so that your supervisor knows what to expect of you, and you know what to deliver. Check in with them once a week, twice a week, as long as you have a solid and steady stream with them so that you don't fall behind in your research. And the next tip that I can give is to reach out to previous students. I'm sure all of you have one friend that finished last year or even 2 years ago. Reach out to them, whether it is on Instagram or LinkedIn, and ask them, what are their tips to survive honors? My story is just one, and I'm so sure that there are many other ways in which you can survive honors. So don't be afraid, send them a quick message and say, hi, what is your one-on-one survival guide on honors? And I'm very sure that they will be more than happy to help you. Another way to reach out is to reach out to people from companies that you're interested in. Send them a message on LinkedIn if you see anybody online or anybody active, and I'm very sure that they'll be more than happy to tell you more about the company and more about working life. And this also gives you a good indication of the culture and environment of a company. Once you speak to somebody that's from a company, you get an idea of what to expect in the future, and you will know if that's the place that you want to be in or not. The next tip that I can give is about mental health. So I saw somebody in the word cloud, they mentioned stress management, and this is extremely important to prioritize yourself. You need to read yourself because undergrad during online learning, and now you're doing honors. That is honestly such a great achievement, and you guys are doing amazing already. So be kind to yourself. Really, you're doing the best that you can, and you guys are going to get through honors. Studying takes up a lot of your time, and you're not going to know everything. One of the tips another graduate gave us is that when you leave honors, don't expect to know everything, because when you get to your job, a lot of the stuff will be taught and you will be learning more on the job. Studying in university and all the theory is just about 10% of it. We also taught by others and we continue learning, so that is another 20%. Continuous learning and teaching never stops. And then about 70% of it happens on the job. So be kind to yourself. You're really not going to know everything once you leave honors. And don't be too hard on yourself when you join your first job. Another thing is that we're always glued to our laptops. When we're doing research, when we're attending lectures, we are literally stuck to our laptops 24/7. And sometimes when we leave our laptops, all we do is just go to our phones. So take a break and step away from your study space. Go for a walk, go have some water. During online learning, we are constrained to being at home, but this doesn't have to be such a bad thing. If you have a pet, I'm so sure that they are more excited to see you than anything. They now have all this time to spend with you. So take a walk away from your study space and go play with your pet. Pet breaks are a thing, and it will really be very good on your mental health and on your pet's mental health. And since we never leave our phones, a very important tip is to log off before bedtime. Whether it's about an hour or even half an hour before bed, try not to be on your phone. I have a story which I'm very ashamed to share, but I will share, so hopefully somebody will learn from it. I'm sure everyone's really obsessed with TikTok. I'm one of those people. Once last year, it was a very long day. I did my research, I submitted something, I went to bed quite late, and I said, okay, you know what? I'm going to reward myself by going on TikTok. I went on TikTok, and it's very addicting to keep scrolling. I never stopped scrolling that day. Next thing I know, the sun is coming out, the birds are chirping, it's 7 a.m., and I have a lecture in an hour. So that really taught me a very good lesson to log off before bed, just to wind down, step away from all the apps, as tempting as it may be, on social media, just to center yourself and give yourself that time to switch off after research and relax to prepare yourself for the next day.
Get enough sleep. I thought sleep come up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sleep is really important.
Mikhail, I love these tips, especially about prioritizing yourself, because when times get tough and it becomes much more difficult to pick yourself up, which usually is the case. It's such a really difficult process to prioritize yourself. So it's so important to really take a breather, listen to the echoing cheering from the stands of your very own arena, as I mentioned earlier, and embrace all the support that's around you, whether it's from your family, your lecturer, and most importantly, your peers, who are also, going through their very own arena. And this unspoken camaraderie makes you all connected more than you know. So just to emphasize, reaching out to your peers as well. And this emphasis on our learning journey is only a product of where we are now. And so to those of you that don't already know us, I'm very proud to introduce who we are as BSG. So BSG is a homegrown South African consulting and technology company, and it was founded in 1997. We are committed to delivering quality, insight-led solutions to our various clients. And if you see on the screen, this is our group of graduates this year. We have two main roles in the graduate group, which is consultants, indicated by C1, and developers, indicated by D1. So the role of consultants in BSG is to work with our clients by understanding their business problem, thinking of innovative solutions to tackle those problems, and working together with developers to come up with really user-friendly, efficient, and really creative solutions, technical solutions, most importantly. During our induction earlier this year, a sentiment that was shared across the whole graduate group was just how seen and valued we already felt before we joined the organization. So from the Global Citizenship Talk you probably all attended a couple of weeks ago, to the flex sessions we've been invited to during the year, as well as attending their year-end function, we really already felt the intention and the family aspect of the organization. So that has been something that's been really special to me. And before we, before I got to understand how people-focused BSG is, some advice that I got from a previous graduate was to align my value system to the organization that I'd be looking to at, you know, because this is so important. Like this really determines your daily attitude, your career trajectory, and ultimately your growth. So I got to learn that BSG has 6 values. And many of them, like I said, speak to my personal values, with the first one being collaboration. So this was really important to me because I learned that it's so great to do work on your own, but it's even better to work with, you know, a team or to work with other people to leverage off of the different skills that everyone has. The second and third values that BSG has is openness and empathy. And these are actually probably my favorite values to learn about because I'm really expressive and I really enjoy having a platform to speak openly and honestly about my concerns, what makes me happy, and have that be embraced in the team that I'm working in. So that's been really special to me being here. And the next set of values is practicality and quality delivery, which this is something that I had to hone even in honors, you know, regarding really delivering work that's of high caliber, of a good standard. And the fact that for me, BSG really focuses on that was just even better. And the last value is contribution to knowledge. And for me, this was really, really great because I get to explore other areas of interest that I really am passionate about, while also, you know, honing in on the skills and the expertise that I learn on my project. So I really encourage you all to consider your values, consider your interests and your needs when you apply to, you know, different companies.
This also is a great interview question that you can have prepared, because one of the things, as someone who interviews graduates all the time, one of the things that I love is when you've got questions prepared. So I encourage you to prepare questions, and this is a great one to prepare a question around. So ask the person who is interviewing you about the values at their organization and say to them kind of, what are your values? And because, you know, something that's really important to me is whatever X, and I want to see if I can resonate with the values of your organization. So it's like a little cheap question that you can have prepared.
Thanks, Laura, for that tip from the interviewer side. But yeah, just so, as I said, on a very high level, that's BSG, but I'm pretty sure you're wondering what we do as consultants on a daily basis. So over to you, Mahira.
Thank you so much, Inesu. So I'm sure a lot of you guys are wondering, you'll know that we are consultants, but what exactly do we do in our day-to-day life? And I'm gonna let you in on a little secret. We save the world. I'm just kidding, but the work we do is incredibly important and it does make a big impact. A typical day in the life of a consultant starts at around 6:30 a.m. when we wake up and we start the day. Depending on your routine of exercising, for me, I really love my sleep, so I do tend to wake up also around this time. If it's a little bit later, I start my work day at 8 o'clock in the morning when I'm in the office and I'm greeting everyone. I also like to know what I'm doing for the day. So I started at 8 o'clock and just figure out what my tasks are for the day and what kind of meetings I will be attending. At 8:30 a.m., I attend stand-up, which is a daily meeting in which we all touch base. And I have my first cup of coffee, which is something I cannot stand without. At 9 a.m., I start my analysis work, which depends on the project that I'm on. This takes me to about 12 o'clock. And at this time, I attend to my emails and general admin. Having a dedicated time to your emails is really good as it prevents you from getting distracted throughout the day. Then 1 o'clock is my favorite time of the day, which is when I take my lunch break. I also am a huge anime and K-pop fan, so sometimes I'll just step away from my laptop and watch an episode or two. And if I'm in the office, I love touching base with my grads. So 1 o'clock becomes an even better time to talk to them and to have lunch together. 2 o'clock means back to my laptop where I attend a few client meetings. 2 to 5 o'clock is generally spent engaging and collaborating with others to ensure that our work is good and we know what we're doing. My workday ends at 5 p.m. and I use this time to hit the gym and get my exercise in for the day. At 7 p.m., I eat supper and again, I watch Netflix or listen to music. I have also moved away from home, so I use this time to call my parents and stay connected to them. My day ends at around 10:30 p.m., in which I go to bed. And to ensure that I do log off before bedtime, I try my very best to have my phone on standby from 9:30 p.m. onwards. And that is just a little insight to the day in the life of a consultant. Over to Ndebele to take us through the developer perspective.
Okay, yeah. So with regards to being a developer at BSG, this is like how an average developer will spend his or her life at BSG. But this is slowly biased to what I do, obviously. But on average, this is what happens. So again, I wake up at 6:30. Most likely, my alarm rings at 6:30. I may put a snooze or two. But yeah, that's what happens. But the real day start at 8. So you may see that it doesn't have like an 8, but my real day start at 8, where I just gauge my day and see what I need to be up to, the tasks that I need to do. So it's like that's when I start preparing for a day. And then we have stand-ups. So the initiative of stand-ups, we have stand-ups at +8. So the initiative of that is just to let the team members know what we have been doing the previous day and what we'll be doing the current day. And you can also get some insights or maybe suggestions on how to solve that problem that we'll be solving for that day. And then we have our code review. So one thing that you can't run away as a developer is a code review. I'm sure many of the lectures have emphasized the importance of writing simple readable codes, including comments in your code. So that's one aspect of it. You need to be able to read and also comment on others' code. And another thing that we get up to as developers is the technical sessions. So for technical sessions, this is like a meeting where we'll be meeting with other developers. So at BSG, we have multiple projects running from multiple stakeholders. So this is a meeting where we'll be meeting with everyone and they'll be updating us on what is going on that project, the progress on that project, and also the technical sessions include like mini meetings that you may hold as an internal team, where maybe you may be updating each other about a new tech that is making rounds on the industry, or maybe you want to incorporate it for much more efficiency in your project. And at 1 p.m., that's where I take my break. But most people do prefer to take their lunch break at 12. But for me, I'm still biased at 1. And the big part of being a developer is writing the code, obviously. And I included Glass Coffee in there, but as you can see, there's not much space to include Glass Coffee everywhere. But as BSG, as you would see, coffee gets in everywhere, whether it's lunch, code review, everything.
We have a good coffee machine. That keeps us all.
Yeah, so coffee gets everywhere, but what we'll be actually doing is writing code, solving problems, whatever that we'll be dealing with in those projects. And then my day ends at 5. So I've been kind of struggling with this. I know like from varsity, you will be used to working almost all night long. During the day, you attend practicals and lectures, and then after hours, you find yourself that you need to catch up and everything. So it's still a work in progress. Like BSG emphasize a lot about wind up, wind down, and find your space. So I'm still trying to do a lot about this, but made good progress. One thing that kept me going is soccer. So there is a BSG soccer team, BSGFC stand up. Yeah, so there's a BSG soccer team that we play soccer with. That's one thing that I've kept myself engaging with. And then after that, actually calling a day, like I relax. So most likely I'll be doing supper and I'm mulling into gaming. Maybe a little bit of Netflix here and there, but most likely I'll be gaming, and that's how like I relax to end my day. And that's like the typical life of a BSG. So just to put some emphasis as well, coming out of university, you know, as a developer, you know you want to code and you know you want to solve some problems. But when you go into the industry, you find that like the industry is very wide. You find that there's something called test engineers, DevOps engineers, back-end, front-end engineers, PHP, Java engineers. And all those guys are actually coding to solve a problem. So BSG, what it's done is it tries to give you like a first-hand involvement throughout all those, such that you know exactly what you're into or what you like. Because if you have no prior experience to it, and you can't just say you like something. So that's what's also nice about BSG. And yeah, that's how a typical life of a developer at BSG goes like.
Yeah, thank you guys for walking us through that and representing consultants and developers. So yeah, you probably, as you can see, our days are pretty jam-packed with enough time for relaxation. But for me, I think it was so important to also nurture my inner self outside of work. So again, it was important to identify an organization that promoted this holistic work environment that I envisioned for myself. So there's so many different wellness tools that BSG has in place. And I really identified with these prior to joining, which also drew me to the organization. So the first thing relates to our mental health. So we use tools such as Unmind and Map My Mood to really manage and balance our mental health, check in with self, and reflect on your personal life and your work life as well. We also have communities where we can sit with other nerdy BSGers and share all our really cool knowledge about tech, but also get involved in the community around us with our different initiatives. The third wellness tool that I really wanted to highlight is our recognition streams. So whether this is financial recognition or non-financial, BSG really tries to reward and to acknowledge all the efforts that you put in on a daily basis, truly. And my favorite one of all is downtime, because who doesn't like a Friday afternoon with drinks and board games and snacks, which is something that we as graduates in our group try to do, but also a lot of teams in the organization do the same thing too. So again, in your interview process, really ask those questions, as Laura said, about what wellness tools do they have in place, what activities outside of work do they facilitate, and really get into understanding that, because your life isn't just going to be about your work. So if all of this sounds really enticing and you feel really drawn to BSG's culture and our people, this is the sign you've been waiting for to apply for our wellness tool. Sorry, I forgot to mention. Yeah, this is just more of our wellness tools. But again, our graduate program. If you didn't know, our applications are now open. And just to walk you through the typical application process in the perspective of a consultant. So you can go to BSG's website and fill in the application form, as well as upload your supporting documents. We will share QR codes and links to it right at the end of the presentation. So I got to do this, and it was really nerve-wracking. And we had our GRP team, Graduate Recruitment Program team, review my application and get back in contact with me to find out, firstly, to get me to send, more motivational letters. But it was really good, because it got me to reflect on why I want to be a consultant and why I want to be a consultant at BSG specifically. So this meant doing a lot of research, a lot of speaking to previous grads or BSG people, a little bit of LinkedIn stalking. It was really good. So yeah, that was my application review process. And then thank goodness I got my first call for my first interview. So this was really exciting for me. And I think I keep mentioning Caitlin a lot, but Caitlin really helped me because she went through the process before me. And I got to reach out to her, and she set up time with me, and we got to, she got to quiz me on different questions that she got in her interview. So again, emphasizing that preparation, right? Good fortune to those who are prepared. After that first interview, they called me and let me know that I was successful. And then I got the second interview. So the second interview was a way for them to get to know me on a deeper level, find out if I'm a BSG fit, but also get me to find out if BSG fits with me, And in this process, I have to put together a presentation, which you also have to do on a topic that will be communicated to you. So you don't need to stress about that. And shortly after that, I got my very first job offer. So this was super exciting, and that meant I could join the team. So if you are looking to go into consulting and be a business consultant here at BSG, this is the typical process that you would follow. I just want to hand over to Ndebele from a developer perspective, because is slightly different?
Yeah, so for developer, it is slightly different. The difference is very neglectable. So also I have to start with applying online, providing my latest CV and everything. And after that, okay. So maybe before I got into that, when it comes to job application, you actually like say it's something that will do, and it just keep on slipping your mind. I had a friend of mine who actually told me about BSG and that I should apply at BSG. And I said I will apply, but it just kept on slipping my mind and so on and so on. And then somehow he managed to refer me. And then I got a call from PE at BSG Bali. And she was like, are you still interested in this job? After that moment, I felt like very important. Like, how can someone just call me and ask me if I'm interested in that job? So at that moment, I just went on and applied online, included every attachment that is needed in there. And then after some time, I also got my first interview, of which I got like videos of BSG and BSG culture. So it was for me to learn about BSG. So in that first interview, it was me, how I understand BSG, how, if I know what BSG does, because a lot of companies would want you to know what you're putting yourself into and if you'll be fit enough to get with whatever they are doing. So after that interview, got forward with a hackathon. So a hackathon was like, they gave me a problem that I was supposed to solve using my own language. Since I like Java very much, I used Java to solve that issue, that problem that I was given. And after then, I got a call saying I qualified for the final interview. So the final interview was me explaining to the panel my code, because you find that a lot of people may go online to copy and paste or do something with code. So it was like to get into Codex with me to find out whether I understand what I was doing, the approach that I had, and also have some thoughts maybe about data structures and everything that I might have used in order to come up with the solution that I have. So it's just like me explaining to them how much I understand about the background of the tools that I chose to use when I was solving that problem. And after that, I think after a week, I also got my offer, and here I am joining the team.
Thank you so much, Ndabintle. So just a little bit more about the different communities in BSG. It was touched on earlier during Laura's introduction, and I just want to highlight one of the many communities that we have at BSG. The first one that we'd like to introduce is the MSD community, and we have a series called Flex, where we literally flex our knowledge. This is used to contribute towards our continuous learning and teaching, because you learn something new every day, especially with consulting, whether it's a shortcut on Teams or a new process on Power BI. So we really engage in the community to learn and to grow and to share our knowledge, to contribute towards each other's development and ensure that we're constantly growing and putting out the best solutions possible. Thank you so much to all the students that have attended. Now we're going to jump right into something fun. So grab your phones again, grab your laptops with the browsers open, log back into Menti, and we will start our trivia. We've told you guys a lot, and we really hope that you all have retained this information to enjoy this trivia session. We will just
Remember, there's a prize for the winner of the trivia session. But really, the reason why we wanted to do this is just to kind of, look at all the people joining, is to help wrap up on what we shared today around the tips, and also a little bit about who we are as BSG. So remember, prepare questions for your interviews.
Definitely.
Ask about the culture and those sorts of things. Put yourself first and look after yourself. Plan some more. Remember, what was it? Fortune favors the prepared.
Yeah.
So plan for your research projects. Plan in terms of job applications. Plan in terms of the daily tasks that you need to get done. Enjoy crossing them off. And then also find your community and your study group and your buddies that you want to help you get through the year together. So,
and most importantly, prioritize self. Really nurture your inner self. Be kind to yourself, take healthy breaks. Don't scroll on TikTok all night.
Yeah.
Don't do that.
Really, really nurture that inner part of yourself.
Cool. Looks like people are joining, so we can get going then.
36, 35 people. Sure, that number's pretty steady right now, so I think we can kick off.
Oh, great. Trivia.
There has been a question from Lita in the chat. Can the grads join this trivia? That's a great question, Lita, but
You may, but you will not be eligible for the prize.
awesome. So to kick off the trivia, if everybody is ready, on to our first question. What is BSG's why? So look at your phone and pick the answer that you think is most correct.
So we may not have touched too much on it in this session, but if you attended the Global Citizenship lectures, this would definitely ring a bell. And time's up. Let's see.
Yay!
John, well done, everyone. Yes, it is being a proactive force for positive change.
Well done to all of us that got that right. On to the second question.
Ooh,
Cake.
okay, cake.
Cool.
On to the next question.
Will have to let us know in the chat who cake is.
Yeah.
If you would, so we can.
Awesome. So the next question. What are three of BSG's values? Once again, pick the answer that you think is most correct.
I never knew that 15 seconds could feel so long.
Yeah, it does actually. It does feel quite long.
Yay, people were listening. Good job.
That's great.
Let's do the leaderboard. Cake's been knocked off.
Cake has fallen off. But Wolfmeister is still in second place, if I remember correctly. Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
it's all changed. Awesome. That's amazing.
Okay. On to question 3. When was BSG founded?
Oh, should know this from the.
From the Global Citizen.
Yeah, and about BSG, definitely.
And we might have spoilers on us.
I feel like we need that
Yeah, a little countdown.
game show music.
Let's see if you guys got it.
Amazing. This is so impressive, you guys.
Wow,
Really.
it really is. Let's see who's on the leaderboard.
I have to go quickly. Oh, still holding the first place. Oh no.
Okay,
Ooh,
wow,
okay.
okay, on there.
Cool.
Amazing. On to our fourth question. What are the different roles in BSG? We also touched on this
In
today.
our grad program, yeah.
Yeah.
Fifteen seconds really is long.
I know.
Everyone's voted. There you go.
Nice.
Oh,
Good job.
paying attention. That's honestly
Yeah.
so great.
Yeah.
Okay, we're on to question 5. I think the leaderboard just took a bit too long to load.
That's really.
I think so.
That is Okay, we touched on this, but how many graduates are there in the 2020 graduate group?
2022.
Go back to Teams and make sure you're on the call. You join.
Apologies, everyone. We're having a little bit of technical difficulties, but we are getting back.
All right, we should be back. It looks like we lost connection, but I think in terms of the mentee, we can take whoever was at the top now, because we've only got 1 minute left on the quiz. So perhaps just to wrap up, if you have got any questions, please just pop them into the chat. I know we've come to the end. If it's a quick question, you're welcome to put your hand up and jump off mute. But before we do go into questions, let me just say thank you so much to everyone for joining. It's been so good to be able to connect with all of you and to engage with all of you. And yeah, if you have got any questions, we've got a whole of our GDP group on the line, so they can quite easily pop in the chat answers to your questions. So if you've got any questions about either honours in IS or computer science, we've got both consultants and developers on the call, so they are on hand to answer any questions that you might have. So thank you so much for joining, and yeah, I look forward to seeing you in our next web session. I hope you found this session informative, and yeah, have a wonderful long weekend, everyone, when we get there.
Thank you all so much for attending, and we hope that this really helped you guys. Good luck with honors. You guys got this.
Cool. We can stop sharing and just check who's online. Are there any questions? There you go. What's the most important skills that BSG looks for in their grad program? Ha, I know this person. I think there's a number. So we do test, depending on which role we are interviewing people for, and we do test for technical skills, but I think mostly is just your ability to apply the knowledge you've gained at university to a particular business problem. And we will give you one, and we want to see how you can break that problem down and how you can solve that problem in a structured way. So yeah, I think just being able to show that you are able to apply the knowledge to a problem, and also demonstrating that you really have a growth mindset and that you are someone who is open to continuous learning. That is something you have to be able to do in terms of consulting, is be flexible and yeah, continuous learning. Consulting is not for everyone, and that's totally fine. But if you are wanting to be in consulting, then you really do need to be prepared to be upskilling almost constantly, because you never know the challenge we're going to be faced with.
Another question is
yeah.
mainly for the consultant role, what skills do you look for in the presentation?
So in the presentation, we're really looking to see how well you can tell a story. So can you structure a presentation? Can you structure a message? Is it logical? Can you tell us, give us a beginning, a middle, an end? And also, how confident are you in your presentation skills? What's your presentation style like? Are you able to confidently talk to a group of people about something that you've put together? Oftentimes, all the time in our roles, we are having to engage with various stakeholders. And so we really want to get an understanding that you would be comfortable engaging with stakeholders. So, engaging with clients, engaging with other team members, and the presentation is one of the things that allows us to be able to look out for how well you would do in that space. Cool. I see love for roads. There was a lot of love for UKZN. You'll see that one of our GDPers has said, has just put on the chat, reach out to any of us on LinkedIn. We're a really friendly bunch and always willing to answer questions and engage with students. See, there's a new message. Oh, is BSG taking the same number of grads this year? We are taking more. So we have set our targets already for 2023, and our targets are greater than they were this year. So so we are taking more than 14. In fact, if we can double that, we would be very, very happy to do that. So yeah. How does BSG deal with difficult clients as consultants? Great question. I think it really depends on the situation. We're always going to have tricky stakeholders. That is the nature of consulting. Interestingly, I've recently been coaching one of our junior team leads on a particularly tricky stakeholder. I would say one of the understand where the client is coming from. Often we are helping them to achieve something that they have told their boss, everyone's always got a boss, that they are going to achieve in a certain time frame. And so we're helping them meet their goals and achieve certain KPIs and targets. So you've always got to have that kind of lens and understanding that often these people, it might be the first time they've ever delivered a project of this size. And whenever I've had to deal with a tricky stakeholder, and I've always come kind of to them with the understanding that there's a mutual success. We want them to achieve whatever they've set out to achieve. We want them to do well. We want them to be successful. And they get that we're in their court. We're on the same team, and we want to work together and partner with them to achieve. Then you often find that there's a great working relationship that can be established. But it really depends on the situation, why are they being difficult, why are they being tricky. Is BSG having a winter program this year? So we do have an internship program. You can find, and I see another question about internships. So we have a few things with some of the universities. We have a structured internship program where the academic staff actually suggest students who will or nominate students to come to us for work experience. So it works that way. Some universities, other universities, we open up, you can apply through our internship program. Either of you interned? No, I'm just checking. I'm just checking because there are some of our GDPers who were interns. They can indicate who they are on the chat, and I'm sure we'd be happy to. Manali was one of them. Paul was one of them, and they'd be happy to chat through their experience. But yes, you can find the link to apply for the internship on our website through our careers page. And yes, I suppose the short answer is yes. Obviously, you've got to be in Johannesburg to do that. The internship is in person in our offices in Johannesburg. With regards to the presentation, how many days will we be given to draw up a presentation?
So I think it does depend on where you are in the interview process and the timelines, but I was given a week to do so, which was really sufficient time. Nick?
I was also given a week. It is really more than enough.
Yeah, so we will give you ample time. We understand that you've also got university work to do and commitments, but we will give you roughly a week or so. Which universities are part of your internship? Shanaria, you are best positioned to talk through this. Do you want to jump off mute and just chat through which universities are part of the internship?
Yes, sure. Hi, everyone. Thank you all for such an amazing presentation, and to everyone who has been engaging on the chats. It's been fantastic to see the engagement throughout. In terms of the internships, we typically. Oh, sorry, can you hear me?
Yes,
Laura, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, so with regards to internships, we typically do take candidates in from Rhodes IS and WITS IS, but we are open to anybody else who is keen on the internship as well, just depending on the dates that you're looking at. But I know a lot of the other universities don't necessarily have it as a requirement. So maybe just check that with your lecturers as well, if that is a requirement. Otherwise, we are definitely going to look at your applications for the graduate development program for 2023.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Shanaria. Yeah, and just to highlight that if you do apply for the internship, you also get considered for the grad program. So you don't have to do 2 applications. Cool. It seems like there's no more questions. So thank you to those who hung around for a few extra minutes. I really appreciate it. And I hope we can, I hope we've answered some of your questions. I hope we've given you some tips and tricks for your year. Good luck with the upcoming research projects and all the other work that is involved in your honors and all your applications for jobs, etc. Yeah, and look out for the next session. We can't wait to chat to you again.
Great, thanks everyone. Bye.
Bye,
Thank you so
everyone.
much. Bye-bye.